He grew up and nobody knew him. Nobody knows who he is until later in his life. The whole thing is very strange. What are you driving at there? Are you a Bertha, Donald?
Okay. Let me just tell you. I was a really good student at the best school. I'm like a smart guy, okay? They make these birthers into the worst idiots. Why doesn't he show his birth certificate? I think he probably...
Have to?
Because I have to, and everybody else has to, Whoopi.
I'm sure
why
that you
wouldn't
can't
he show... Excuse me. Why... No, excuse me. I really believe there's a birth certificate. Why... Look, she's smiling. Why doesn't he show his birth certificate? And you know what? I wish he would. Because I think it's a terrible pall that's hanging over him. He should show his birth certificate. The other thing, if you go back to my first grade, my kindergarten, people remember me. Nobody from those early years.
That's not true.
We have pictures of them. What are you talking about?
Okay, show me a picture.
There are kids in Hawaii. There are people in Hawaii. There are people that he's grown up. No, as
I
little
haven't seen
kids.
early pictures. But more importantly, why doesn't he... And you know what? I think he probably was, but the word probably, Whoopi...
Why did he have to defend himself against
you know why?
Against an accusation?
Because if you're going to be the president...
He's an American
Because
citizen.
if you're going to be the president of the United States, it says very profoundly that you have to be born in this country.
But did any other president do that today? Did George Bush cannot be the president?
Why would he want the taking over him if it's
Probably
true?
he was.
No one has ever asked George Bush or said to George Bush, I'm sorry, is Hawaii not part of the United States?
George Bush. And I'm not saying I was a fan of George Bush.
No.
You know that better than anybody.
But
George Bush was born in this country. That's right.
Isn't Hawaii still part of the United States?
Question?
Am I gone?
You know
question
what?
whether he was or not because he hasn't come forward with it?
I grew up in New York. Wall Street was a big part. I have seen fraud, and I have seen scandal, and I have seen things that a lot of people don't see. I've seen people take a $100 bill and make it $1 million bill.
We're going to have to pause. Get to the point.
Okay, the point is, I can't rely on some newspaper that they show
In order to become president of the United States, in order to
I
get
want
a
him to
driver's
show his
license,
birth certificate.